Blind date gone wrong. Rich heiress falls for the small-town single dad who saved her. The night was colder than expected, the city lights glittered like false promises, and somewhere between her trembling hands and the raindrops sliding down the cafe window, Clara Hastings realized she had made the worst mistake of her life. The blind date had gone horribly wrong, not in the usual awkward, mismatched way, but in a way that left her heart pounding with fear and her eyes searching for a way out. The man across from her wasn't who he claimed to be. His charm had vanished the moment she declined another glass of wine, replaced by something dark, something dangerous. As the storm outside raged harder, Clara excused herself under the pretense of a phone call, her heels clicking fast toward the exit, toward the streetlights, toward safety, toward the unknown stranger who would change everything about her life. Backhand index pointing. Right before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the magic of unexpected love, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to KindnessTales. Your support helps us bring more heartwarming stories like this to life. Clara didn't know where she was running, only that she needed to keep moving. Her hair was drenched, makeup ruined, heart racing faster than the thunder overhead. Her phone battery blinked red before dying completely. The rain soaked through her designer coat, but it was better than going back. She turned down a quiet street, past flickering streetlights and shuttered storefronts, when a sudden flash of headlights blinded her. A truck screeched to a halt inches away. "Hey! You okay?" The voice was deep, steady, laced with genuine concern, the kind you only hear from someone who's seen real hardship. When her vision cleared, she saw him, a tall man in a worn flannel shirt, sleeves rolled up, eyes tired but kind. He looked like someone carved out of hard work and quiet strength. His name was Ethan Cole, a single dad from the nearby small town of Maple Ridge, who had been making a delivery run for his family's hardware store. Clara could barely speak, shivering as she mumbled that she'd had a bad night. Without a word, Ethan took off his jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders, guiding her to the passenger seat. His truck smelled faintly of sawdust and pine, oddly comforting. The world outside blurred as he drove her toward the town lights, away from the chaos she had fled. Ethan lived in a modest house on the edge of town, the kind with peeling paint but warm light spilling from the windows. His little daughter, Sophie, no more than 7, peeked from behind the curtain when they arrived. "Daddy," she asked softly as he helped Clara out of the truck. Ethan's voice gentled as he told Sophie they had a guest who needed some help. Clara didn't remember falling asleep, but when she woke the next morning, she was wrapped in a soft quilt on the couch. The scent of pancakes drifted through the air. Sunlight streamed through lace curtains. The warmth, the simplicity, the absence of judgment, it all felt foreign, yet so safe. Sophie giggled as Ethan flipped a pancake too high and caught it midair. Clara couldn't help but smile, though her heart carried the weight of the previous night. As the days passed, she found herself lingering. She helped Sophie braid her hair before school, washed dishes beside Ethan, and laughed, genuinely laughed, for the first time in years. He didn't know she was an heiress, the daughter of one of the city's wealthiest real estate tycoons. She didn't want him to know. For once, she wasn't Clara Hastings, the name that opened doors. She was just Clara, a woman rediscovering her soul in a small kitchen where love lived quietly. Ethan's story came out slowly, in fragments. His wife had passed away 3 years ago, cancer, sudden and cruel. He'd been raising Sophie alone ever since, taking whatever work he could to keep the lights on. His hands were rough, his voice steady, and his eyes carried the softness of someone who had suffered but still believed in goodness. Days turned into weeks. Clara began helping at the local school, organizing a charity event under a fake name. The townspeople adored her kindness, though they never guessed her real background. She watched Ethan work tirelessly, admired how he always put others first. Something in her began to shift, the walls built by years of privilege and pain began to crumble. But as in every story, truth has a way of finding light. One morning, a black limousine rolled up the dirt road to Ethan's driveway. 2 men in suits stepped out, asking if Miss Clara Hastings was there. Ethan froze. The look on his face, a mix of confusion and betrayal, shattered her heart. He didn't speak as she tried to explain. How could she? That she'd run from a world of money, fame, and emptiness? That she'd found real happiness in the laughter of his daughter and the kindness of his heart? He stood silently, the distance between them wider than any fortune could bridge. She returned to the city, to her father's mansion of marble floors and cold halls. The media swarmed her, painting stories of the missing heiress found safe. She smiled for cameras but cried behind closed doors. Every morning, she missed the smell of pancakes and pine. Every night, she prayed Ethan might still think of her. Weeks later, Maple Ridge was hit by a devastating storm. News footage showed collapsed homes, flooded streets, and people in desperate need. Without hesitation, Clara packed her car with supplies and drove straight back. When she arrived, the town was in ruins, and there he was, soaked, exhausted, carrying his daughter through the mud, still helping others before himself. Without a word, she ran to him. The rain poured, the world blurred, and everything that had broken between them seemed to dissolve in that moment. Ethan looked at her, not as an heiress, not as a stranger, but as the woman who had shown up when it mattered most. She stayed. Together, they rebuilt what was lost, not just homes, but hope. Clara used her wealth quietly to restore the town, never taking credit. Ethan taught her the beauty of simple living, the strength in small acts, the power of love that asks for nothing in return. Months passed, and one spring morning, as Sophie danced barefoot in the grass, Ethan turned to Clara with the same calm steadiness that had once saved her on a dark road. Life had changed, and so had they. The scars of the past had become reminders that sometimes, what seems like a wrong turn is actually the road that leads you home. Backhand index pointing right. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Tales. And before you go, drop a comment below telling us, do you believe that true love can be found in the most unexpected places? Your words might inspire someone who needs hope today. Because sometimes, Clara whispered, watching the sunset over Maple Ridge, the wrong date leads you to the right forever.